Hey guys, I'm Devin Harrington, the average Gen Xer. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be taking a look at some posts from the Regretful Parents subreddit. And if you don't know about the Regretful Parents subreddit, this is a great place to go as a child-free person if you're feeling like your life is less than you want it to be, because it gives you that "at least I don't have those problems" kind of feeling. Please remember that my posts about regretful parents are not in any way meant to mock the pain of these folks who are not loving parenthood, but rather to highlight the experiences of people who found out the hard way that having kids is not the gloriously fulfilling validation that society would like to make it out to be. I was lucky enough to be born as someone who just always knew they did not want kids. And of course, there are plenty of people out there who just come into the world knowing that they want to be parents. But for the vast majority of people who are sitting on the fence, wondering if they should or shouldn't procreate, the posts on the Regretful Parents subreddit provide some much needed perspective and clarity on the realities of having kids. Not to mention some cautionary tales on what one moment of enjoyment or carelessness can turn your life into. So let's jump right in and get to these posts. This first one, I cut off the title. I don't know what the title was, but it starts out by saying, "Fuck, fuck, fuck. I am losing my goddamn mind. I have 2 kids, a 4-year-old daughter and a 35-year-old girlfriend." Quotes are the original posters. "I am not exaggerating. I make every single decision." That's how it's written. "It's exhausting. The pressure on me is crippling. I want to fucking die. My biggest regret in life was being so desperate and lonely and abused in my past that I latched on to the one person who gave me attention." Ugh, this poor guy. "Ended up getting her pregnant. She said she was going to get an abortion and didn't." Now, this guy sounds already like a total pushover, because she said she was going to get an abortion. How about you discuss it and you make the appointment and you take her to the appointment and you pay for it and you hold her hand and you know, you don't just leave it up to the girl. It takes 2 people to make a baby. It takes 2 people to decide if they're going to go through with a pregnancy. It's just like, this subreddit is full of people who were easily convinced by one person or another, or who just let things happen to them, and then they end up with kids and on this subreddit regretting it. He goes on, "Now here I am, 4 years later. I work 50 to 55 hours a week. I pay 100% of the bills. 2 grown-ass adults who are not married have a kid together, and only one of them is paying for everything. I do 70% of the cleaning. I do 90% of the cooking. I do 75% of the parenting. She only picks her up to and from school and takes her to dance. She also doesn't work because her back hurts." That just makes me so freaking mad. He doesn't say whether this girl is on disability or not. It doesn't sound like it, but she's clearly taking extreme advantage of this guy. Basically, he's her sugar daddy. Why don't I leave? He goes on. Oh, because I'm tethered to her by way of a child whom I love and adore with all my heart. And that is what breaks me. I would never give my child anything but love. But God damn it, if I could go back in time and chop my dick and balls off, I would. Not kidding. Okay. If I leave, I will have to pay this woman 30 to 40% of my income. Now, I don't know where he's getting this unless he's in a different country, but um, it sounds like he's kind of catastrophizing the situation because they're not even married. And he says, I would have to pay this woman 30 to 40% of my income, sell my house, etc. He owns the house and he's the one working. So why can't he just kick her out and sue her for child support? I don't get it. My daughter is delayed in basically every area, and we are in an amazing school district for her. She is thriving. So that's good news. I mean, at least this guy sounds like he's got his act together for his kid. If we move, that all changes and it fucks her over. So here I am going to a job I fucking hate, all caps, to put on a fake smile for these corporate shitheads. Just thinking about it makes my stomach twist into knots right now. It's making my stomach twist into knots just reading about it. This life sounds like so miserable. No wonder he wants to die. Uh God forbid she get a job to help. It's too much for her, I guess. She'd rather sit at home and do the one chore she can handle, which is laundry, the easiest one of them all. So at least she's doing something. I mean, she's doing the laundry. But this guy is just letting her take advantage of him because she provides a little bit of free daycare, basically, which is just so pathetic. I mean, come on, man, get your shit together. It's your house. It's your child. She does nothing. She contributes nothing. So why can't you throw her out and uh, sue her for child support? This must be in another country. I don't know. I don't know why she decided to have a kid. She just says, I couldn't do it the few times it's come up. Now, I don't know if he's saying that she was referring to the abortion, like I just couldn't go through with it, or if he's asking her for more help raising the kid and she's saying, I just can't do it. I think what he's referring to is that she was going to terminate the pregnancy and then she just says, I couldn't do it, which is unfortunately so common that somebody gets their girlfriend knocked up and women, I think even, well, probably even more so today, because of all the hyper religiosity that's going on these days, women are raised to think or to believe that if you get pregnant and you terminate the pregnancy, that you will be irreparably emotionally damaged. I mean, that's the message that I got, but I went to Catholic school, so I kind of assumed that that was where it was coming from. That you'll spend the rest of your life mourning the death of that baby and all of this other nonsense, and that's just fear mongering. Abortion is healthcare. If you find yourself carrying a pregnancy that you didn't intend to have, you can go get healthcare to terminate your problem. And I will die on this hill in saying that if men could get pregnant too, then abortion pills would be available at every gas station, just like all the horny goat weed and stuff that you see at the gas station. Anyway, he goes on. She just says I couldn't do it the few times it's come up. Well, fuck, what if I can't do this? I'm so tired. I take ADHD medicine to function somewhat normally. I'm sure I have ADHD, but if I didn't have to be responsible for other human lives, I wouldn't need to take it and I could just exist normally. My pets keep me sane, thank God. When the kid falls asleep, I take my dog on a walk until my legs are jello and I'm numb. I mean, at least he has a dog and he likes to walk him. But when that's your life, how sad is that? He could just be living happily in his house with no kids and no shitty girlfriend with his dog and be perfectly happy. And I hate to say it, but that would be the case if he hadn't knocked this dumb bitch up, because she really sounds like a dumb bitch. Okay, moving on to the next post. This one is called I'm So Tired, but I'm Being Guilted About Another Child. And this post, I read this and I just felt some kind of way about what this girl is going to talk about. So let's just go through it. She says, I'm so overwhelmed and exhausted. Both my boys have autism with completely polar needs. And I have to say, on the Regretful Parents subreddit, I mean, I'm sure that there are a lot of different factors that go into why it is these days that so many children seem to be on the autism spectrum or have some kind of special needs. I mean, it's almost like special needs are not even special anymore. And that could be because, we have more knowledge, scientific knowledge. We have more ways of diagnosing problems like that these days. Maybe, it was just as prevalent in past generations and we just didn't have a name for it. But it seems like so many of the people that post on this subreddit have kids that are on the spectrum or are special needs in some way. And I wonder how much that contributes to their regretting being regretful parents. I don't know. Just wondering. He goes on, or she goes on, sorry. I'm running myself into the ground to take care of them, the house, and work. And my dumb bitch of a mother can't stop pushing in my face how she's having prophetic dreams about me having a daughter. Plus saying a daughter will help fix the boys. I hate this woman so much. Just seeing her name pop up on my phone sends me into a massive internal rage. It's sending me into a massive internal rage just reading about her mother. Like I commented on this post that I hate her mother on her behalf. I've told her numerous times I'm not having any more kids, especially when I'm the one that is trapped and dying inside due to the pressure and responsibility. The stress alone has caused me to gain over 100 pounds, lose my hair. Even my skin looks like it's weathered and ugly. I mean, stress is a horrible thing. It will do insane things to your body. I mean, she probably eats her stress, which, guilty. Um, and I mean, just the thought of gaining 100 pounds and having to deal with two autistic children, this poor woman. She goes on, but my mother will just sit there and talk about how having a daughter is like having another parent in the house. Oh, isn't she delightful? I've told her numerous times I'm not having any more kids, especially when, oh, sorry. I already read that part. Okay. She completely forgets that I hated taking care of my sibling, that I was so extremely depressed and pretty much an unpaid, abused servant that I had mental breakdowns through my high school career. Why would I put another girl through that? I'm 30 years old, and she treats me like I'm a brainless idiot that should jump and do whatever she says. Okay, so the mother there sounds, I mean, I'm no psychiatrist, but some narcissistic tendencies there. But let's get to the parentifying of daughters. So I am the oldest of four kids, and I'm the only girl. And I was parentified all to hell. There's two twins in my family. My twin brothers, they were born when I was about 4, and I was 4 years old, so I wasn't all that useful around the house and stuff. But there are pictures of me holding the two babies, and um, and with a look on my face that was like, "What the hell is this?" Because I got to be an only child for the years before that. But then, when I was 11, 2 days after my 11th birthday, my mother had my third little brother. And that's when it was really on, because she had him with my stepfather. And my stepfather, if you've watched any of my content, I've got a narcissistic, abusive stepfather that I don't have anything to do with now, even though he and my mother are still married. Um, and he is self-employed, the typical narcissist thing. Got my mother to quit her job, so she was dependent on him, and then started an industrial catering business. And that was about when I was about 11. And so I was given a job working for the business. When you're a kid, you kind of think it's cool, but it was a job I didn't want, that I was forced into doing. And also taking care of my 3 younger brothers. So uh, my parents had to get up at like 3:30 in the morning. So they went to sleep at 7:30 on average at night. And so there was me, 11 years old, 12 years old, um, dancing the baby to sleep every night because my parents had to get their sleep. My parents, who chose to have this baby and then just handed him to me, an 11-year-old child who was expected to behave like a little adult. And that alone is a recipe for, at least, it's a recipe for making someone not want to have kids when they grow up, but it's traumatizing in many ways. So anyway, here's the story for today. One night I'm dancing the baby, and I guess he was really colicky or whatever it's called, because he wouldn't go to sleep. And every time I put him down in the crib, he start crying again. And I'd pick him up, dance him some more, put him back down. He starts crying again. So I finally put him down. He starts crying and he starts throwing up, white, milky baby spew. And I picked him up and I sat him on the changing table because I was going to wipe his face off. And suddenly, it was like a horror movie. He just started puking and puking. And I mean, like baby puke running down his body. And I had never seen a baby puke this much. And it freaked me out. And I was scared that the baby was really sick, but at the same time, I'm right outside my parents' bedroom door, and we had been so conditioned not to disturb them, not to bother them, not to need them, that I opened my mouth to call for my mother, and I reflexively didn't say anything. And there's my little brother, and he was, not even a year old, I don't think. And he's puking and puking and puking. And finally, I just freaked out and yelled, "Mom, Mom." And my mother came out. And I remember being kind of surprised that she wasn't yelling at me for waking her up. And she took the baby, and I was 11 years old, so I didn't know that it was kind of normal for babies to spit up like that, but it totally freaked me out. I still have such a clear memory of that, but that's just something that an 11-year-old girl should not be having to fucking deal with on a school night, and that was just a tiny bit of how I was expected to act like a little adult and handle things like a little adult. And that's one of the ways that you can get CPTSD, which is a whole other video. But if you were parentified as a child and forced into caring for your siblings, I would love to hear your stories. Just drop it down in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for coming by to hang out with me today. I'm going to keep it a little short and sweet today for you guys. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Austin, Texas, so I need to get outside in the sunshine. But I did want to just drop some Regretful Parents horror stories for you. So thank you so much. Please like, comment, subscribe, all those good things. And I will see you in the next video.